Hey everyone, we got some big tournament results this week, as well as some of the ones from last week that didn't get covered. So yeah, big video today, but also just the new set came out, and there was a big tournament in Nagoya, so WGP Deluxe Nagoya happened. We had 2 blocks, and there, if you just look at this pie chart and the list here, at least for Block A, you see some familiar faces, which is this Tenshinui, and then a bunch of other stuff. So people were expecting this to be kind of a sleeper set. Surprisingly, has been doing quite well. Right, a lot of things just popping up in the meta right now, so should be interesting to see. So we're gonna dive into it. We're not gonna go through every single deck, okay? If we're looking at these like the results, and there is a Shinui or a Luar deck that we've seen like 20 times in both like these tournament bids slash top decks. Yeah, we're not gonna go too deep into them. But if you do think there is some crazy tech, put it in the comments below so other people can see it. Or you can post some top decks, and that's where we kind of go through most of the more interesting decks that get posted. Post something interesting with that, and then we can dive more into it, right? This one, there's like a big bulk of just tournaments. We need to go through all the coolest stuff, right? The interesting stuff that's been like popping up. So first off, let's do the cool Japan tournament, right? Block A first. As we can see, Tenshinui, still a strong deck, pretty crazy good. They might get hit next week. We don't know. There's a new list coming out next week. Well, a new announcement next week, whether something gets hit or not, we'll see. But Shinui still going strong even after the restriction lists, and then everything else just kind of eating up. The second, third, fourth. They're all good, right? They're all good. At least for Block A. At least for Block A. In terms of what actually won, so first place we have a Shinui, and then an Ava as well, and a Morphonica. So pretty interesting cut there. Second place was definitely really weird. We have Chaos, Tamayura, and I think it's Benny, right? From Vispo. Then third place we have a Shinui, Lucia, and a Raziel. And then fourth place, again, kind of no Shinui, bit more wacky. We got Chaos, Blangnemy, and then the Herminium. In terms of what made it through the top 16, right? The top cuts. We can kind of just see what went undefeated. It's just a lot of different decks. As you can see from the thing before, we can expect a lot of Shinuis. Even the top 4, the undefeateds, were all taking Shinui, but we can start seeing some interesting stuff here where you see like a Shoujo Doji pop up, new card, new support, taken home. But then you have like some full stride going on here. We've got the Morphonica. This team came first, so you're quite unsurprising, I guess. But then moving on, Dimension Pulleys, right? I think 5th place is about where the top cut starts, I think, because we just see it could be, honestly, this one's a bit of a hard one to pick. Actually, it could be 8th, like Chaos, Benny, and Tamayura. Yeah, it might be there actually. It might be 8th, because this is where there's like no new, no repeated decks. But these guys did well. But yeah, so we see like Dimension Police doing okay, even Lakia, Raziel, and then Drajul, right? Shinui still dominating. We expect 10 Shinuis, yeah. This Mythia team as well. Then we got then we get a showing of Mythia. So this is like I can't say the name. New one here as well. Modalion, right? Modalion, Fennel, Fennel, and then with this is Emmy, right? Emma, sorry. And then, Nadia, right? Nadia's really dropping off. I don't think we've seen many Nadias at all, right? Like here, no Nadias. Yeah, Nadia's really been dropping off. That's pretty crazy. We've got a Chronojet. Then some Archites. Archites, a lot of people are saying it's really strong, and we're definitely seeing this pop up quite a bit too. But yeah, other than that, you see a lot of Shinuis. But that is Block A for you. So let's kind of take a look at some of the interesting decks. We'll go through them. First off, let's just take a quick look at Ava. What has really changed? Nothing really, right? This PR has come out in English, but in terms of like trying to rush or deal better, a lot of them are taking in this monster. Well, at least someone is taking in this monster just to kind of gain more power and punch through. Also going to like 2 front and 1 draw. So a bit strange there, but other than that, it's like this should be Combine Rusher, right? Is it Combine Rusher? Yeah, and then the Cycler, right? So, okay, pretty nice. But then onto Chaos. So, one thing I noticed about Chaos is that this deck has gotten way more streamlined. So, in the beginning, we were like going, oh, we got to play a lot of one-off copies, but as better support, rolls on, it's just better to run good cards, and you'll definitely get your requirements, your name requirements anyway. Japan does have the advantage of having these triggers that technically count as true names, but I honestly think even if we don't have this, there's just so much power now in this deck that I think Chaos is definitely something you should definitely look into since this PR has come out. Like, I think I pulled one of these. Pretty crazy. Definitely need more testing, but you just see there's so much power here, right? Look, you don't need anything weird. Okay, one of this, two of this. The PGs alone are like three different copies, right? So even 4. If you don't run the Sanctuary, it's like 4. So I honestly think this deck's getting pretty crazy. It's time, right? It's time. In the beginning, you know, there were no good cards. Now there is way more better cards. Chaos naturally getting better. So pretty cool. Then after that, we got the Benny build. So there's like 2 different... What I understand with V-Spro is that there's 2 different ways you can build them. So they have their V-Spro exclusive deck where you can just put in any card that is V-Spro, or you can run them in this specific nation. So this is like a Benny Dark States Nation, where you just run the Dark States Nation cards with some of the V-Spro cards and you're good. What Benny does is she's like a mini, I guess she's like a mini Barrow Magnus. Yeah, it's kind of like that. At the beginning of the battle phase, for every 5 cards in your soul, you minus your opponent's Vanguard by 5k. So you have like 15 cards in your soul, so you minus is 15k. And then if your soul has 10 or more cards, you pick one of your opponent's rear guards and you put them into soul. So it's like kind of pseudo removal. And then the second effect is that when it attacks, you can counterblast, and you get the following based on how much soul you have. So if 4 or higher, you get to call a card from the soul onto the rear guard circle. If you have 9 or higher, she gets a drive, and then 13 or higher, she gets a crit. So I think the requirements are definitely easier than Barrow Magnus, and you have like more power now because just better cards are released for Dark States. You'll hit these numbers way more efficiently. The thing is, like, the most important effect I feel like is not gated behind the 13 plus soul. It's actually just the 9, because this is where you get the extra plus, and then you get the extra call already at 4, and then with like a 9, you're basically hitting 10, right? So you're getting a minus 10k on your opponent's Vanguard. So you're bashing for pretty dirty amounts, as well as still retiring, or not retiring, but, you know, removing your opponent's card. So overall, this seems like a pretty nice way of just putting on pressure, and yeah, pretty cool deck. Definitely something if you like. They're running. Wow, I haven't seen this in a while. Pandemonium Tactics, just Soul Charge. You get one of these, your whole deck is online. So pretty interesting. I like to just, if you like collab decks, you know, V-Spro is definitely looking one of the better decks for you. Just some of the extra V-Sport here is just this card searches for this card, so we're just cool stuff. So pretty nice. The rest of it is just Dark States card. So pretty cool. And then here we have Lucia. So Lucia is all right. I guess this is what I kind of figured out the deck would kind of become. The only weird slots was just how many of the Betsus you want to run, because you can run other stuff too. This guy decided to just run 4x of these and just running 2 Lucias, so you can never get screwed over. So I think that's pretty fine. Other than that, I think the deck is just pretty what we expected it to be. Nothing too out of the ordinary in terms of what you put in, right? 4 orders, because you definitely just always want to see this order. If you don't see it, your deck just is pretty abysmal. And then for the regular speed, you can basically just put in a Blitz order. Put in a Blitz order, there's a lot of choices, at least in the JP side. This promo is just really generic and really good. So yeah, just put in a Blitz order so it doesn't interfere with your main phase orders. So pretty nice, pretty nice. Next we have is Shoujo Doji. So there's quite a few of these actually, and these Shoujo Dojis seem pretty cool. It's just interesting to see what they put in and what they cut out. So they're running 4x of these multi-attackers, 4x of the Guardian Shields. I think they just cut out this guy. So Kagechika. So this just makes extra soul, and then if you call something from the buying zone, you can put this into soul and draw a card. But I think there's just better other cards to put in that are more important. They are running Morphotica triggers, so technically, is there like a second stealth? He's running the correct stealth triggers, so I think that's fine. But then again, these are pretty flexy, right? This is the high quality side version. So yeah, I think this is pretty straightforward. Every single Shoujo Doji build, I think, will look something similar to this, but we'll see. There are more coming up. And then you have like flex slots, just an energy cycle. This deck doesn't really use that much energy, right? It just uses energy for the Shoujo Doji, which is like an Energy Blast 3. So generally, if you don't use any energy the whole game, you should be able to use it, if I'm correct. So, all right, pretty cool. And then after this, we have the Messiah. So Messiah's been rising up in popularity. lately, and the reason is just this, mainly this card. So this gives your deck some extra cards back. You can put cards back into the deck, so you can put back important pieces like your Messiahs, your Arrest the Messiah, or then put in the order, and then it just kind of works out pretty well. It's just nice early game as well, just to kind of bash with. And then you can like top 5 check for important pieces too. So that was the biggest problem of this deck, is that if you didn't have your Messiahs, especially Arrest the Messiah, you have like no multi-attacks. But now, because of this card that can kind of search that or search the order, then you always just able to kind of recur that. This person's only running one of the orders, so maybe that's enough, but yeah, that's kind of where it's at. And also just energy cyclers as well, just kind of get through the early game and draw cards. All right, so pretty cool. Like, nice to see Messiah doing well again. It's definitely a deck that I feel like has been left in the, would I say gutter a bit, but it's just been left on this wayside because it really never gotten any good support. But now it's getting there, right? It's getting there. Next is Dementia Police, and this deck is already making a splash. Is that correct? Really interesting to see what they put in. A lot of the, just for spoilers, I feel like a lot of the Depot builds look relatively similar in that their flex slots. They've just decided to run the Hero Bubble Beam, which is exclusively require you to have bases, but since you have bases as Depot, it's all good. I think it's this build is pretty much correct. Running 4 Die Mariner means you're able to always get your Superior Ride off, right? And then if you don't have the Die Mariner, as long as you draw a base, you should be able to get your Superior Ride off. So you have 8 shots at getting your Superior Ride, which is just great when you go second, in my opinion. Riding grade 3 first is always nice because you can activate Persona Ride 1 turn earlier. The extra slots we have is just 4x of this Dual Nation from Festival Collection. This one just allows you to look at top X and like add stuff to Soul, build Soul, and then compress the deck a bit better. Or just call out important cards from your Soul, which is pretty nice. And then you also have your Brand Gate Energy Cycler, you know, cycling energy. Really cool. Finding more effective ways of doing that. But you can also just CB because you are running counter charges, so it's not really that much of a big deal, right? So pretty cool. Yeah. And then next is the other Dementia Police. This one ran more Die Dragons. If you look at this one, this ran like 0 Die Dragons. It just went really, how do you say it? Like generic? Just got the generics to fill the slots. And other stuff is just pretty straightforward. You know, you have your Superior Ride engine. This one running way less generics as well as less of the Burble Meme, which I think is okay, right? I think it's okay. They've decided to just put in this card to kind of tutor for more cards, which is all right. But then other than that, the rest of the core of the deck is just pretty much there. In terms of the regular space, they're running the Persona one. So, okay, that's nice, that's nice. Next is the Mythia. So when I looked at this deck, this is quite funny. How do you make a struggling deck good again? So one, you give it a really busted PR. So this one is just if you have the grade 3 at the end of the battle, Soul Blast 1, and you can stand it against 10 games. So, you know, straight up multi-attacks. And then the second effect's like at the end of turn, if you have a Mythia Vanguard grade 3 or higher, you can just retire it and then grab a card from your drop zone and add it to hand. That's a different name from this. So you can just grab a Persona Ride and just keep on going. Yeah, after you give this a broken, like, no, it's a really good PR. All right. How else do you make the deck better? Because I think it got this PR a while ago, but it was still wasn't that good. You just give it a lot of support in the new set. So this is like a DZ-BT03 card. They're all got very, how do you say it? Small effects that make the old stuff better. So this counts as like 2 cards, for example, for your Mythia units requirements, I guess. Is that the way? So it counts as 2. So if you look at old Mythia, the first effect, you need like 5 unit cards on the field, right? And then if you do, you're putting this cards on. So this guy just kind of fills that slot. Like you just need 1 less, right? You don't run that many of this copy though. You only run 2. But then you look at the other cards. So this one's from 11, so that's not that one. This one, this what is this? This is like a crazy lamb or goat. But yeah, you just have advantage. I think this should be just advantage engine, and guard restrict as well. Wow, guard restrict. And then this one is the weird. I don't. What is it? It's like, okay, it's Rizmi, but it's similar to those. Oh, I keep on watching. VTube has kept on trying to farm this in Minecraft. So I don't know the name, but it's basically just a built-in advantage engine. So you just give it a bunch of advantage engines. You give it a broken PR. And then I think literally the only cards you run from the old set is like the grade 3. You have this guy, the crazy giraffe turtle that procs like on call effects, I think, again. That can help you do that. And then you have this this rabbit, this sunglasses rabbit that, as you can see, has a counter charge icon. But I'd still play it even if it didn't because it looks pretty cool. I'd probably run that one copy. But yeah, once you give that, and then you have like Energy Cycler, the deck can serve as a third deck in your team. Now I'm gonna spoiler you again. This is not the last time you see Mythia, but bear in mind this is what you need to do to make the deck work. Of course, I think the biggest buff was the PR plus this thing. The other cards running less copies of, but yeah, Mythia haven't had to search through all of them anyway. All right, so overall, that's just how it is. Pretty cool. Pretty cool to see this at least doing something now. All right. Then here we have his medallion. So this is the new medallion. I think this is pretty much what everyone built in like a preliminary. They went, okay, let's put in all the undercover cards, right? Undercover lineup, right? Put in all the undercover cards here. You know, Obfuscator 4. Cut one of these because he's less cool. What is this? Grade 1? I don't run any grade 1s, so I need more grade 1s. Let's put this in. Let's put the other grade 1. And guess what? Let's stuff in the Selgion because it's just a good card and it's a grade 1 and it gets power. So yeah, I feel like this was basically everyone's build on medallion and or undercover, or what you want to call it. And then in terms of you just picked between draws or fronts. All right, that's it. So not too unexpected in terms of builds, but in terms of results, at least one showed up. Okay. Next we have is the Emma. So this one is a V-Spro build, right? So this is a full V-Spro Nation build. So with Emma, I think you can combo with Dragon Empire, but Dragon Empire sucks. Let's play V-Spro. But what this does is that it lets you use every single card here as V-Spro, and what they did with that is they just run a bunch of cards. So these grade 2s call specific grade 1s. Same with this one, same with this one. So I think this one calls the yellow one. This one calls the purple one because she looks purple, and the blue head one calls the light blue one. So you call that, and I guess you just make a field. They all kind of do things that kind of resemble what they want to do. So this one, I think it just binds from the drop zone, so it's pretty cool. The other one, I think, put something in the soul, right? Just put something from dropping the soul, and the last one just gets like shield, right? It gets shield, and does something else. But overall, they just all do something. They just basically make advantage. You can rush like that. And in a way, then if you build it like this, your grade 3 can be anything you want. Any one of your favorite characters, right? So very easy to build. Maybe not cheap to build, though. I'm going to warn you on that. These VTubers, they're highly sought after. Emma, what does Emma do? So she Soul Blast 1, she draws a card, and then you get to keep on your opponent's regards and bind it. But then if you don't bind, you pick 2 of your opponent's cards in the drop zone, and then you bind those. So you can just... Oh, no. Your opponent chooses 2 of their cards in the bind zone and binds them. So you can build a bind zone, I guess, which is cool. And then the second effect is that when this attack... at the end of the battle where this attack, you can CB1 and discard a card and stand it, and it gets -1 drive. And if your opponent's bind zone is 10 or higher... for this turn, if you've Persona ridden, +1 crit. So it's just a restand up, right? It's just a restand. Personally, I don't think it's that insane. There will be some situations where binding your opponent's stuff is pretty good if you want to get rid of the wards, but then again, they get to pick. But in terms of like decks nowadays, they run a lot of the hostage stuff, which is like the set order that allows them to bind things from their field to move to the Guardian Circle. Well, it just moves into the Guardian Circle and then binds them. So if you have like some sort of removal nowadays, it's pretty strong. Where you can get around like specific targets where they want to bind for the Guardian. They want to move to the Guardian Circle. I mean, so yeah, bind them and then get them out of the way, and then just make a field and bash hard, right? So that's kind of how it is. Archite is also another one of the decks that a lot of people have been saying was really, really strong. The new Archite makes 5 attacks. You can bake a bunch of power because when one of those kaijus come out now, from the just when they pop on the real circle, you can send one of your kaijus with the same name from Order Zone into the bin, and they get +10k. So you can imagine this is not once per turn, by the way. So you can just imagine making 5 attacks, they're all getting a bunch of power. You can definitely rush down your opponent and hit over triggers pretty easily, right? They are still running some of the old ones, so these 2 are old. Boba means old, and then You're definitely running the monster PG. This one I think is new. So yeah, new monster, and then this is a PR that everyone should probably start getting now. Because it's actually very important for the plan. This one has the second skill where you can put a card from your auto zone into your hand that is not a sentinel, and then you discard a card. So you can always just cycle your persona rides, which is really good, right? Which is really good because Archive itself just puts cards from the drop zone into the auto zone. So you can just, once you have this combo going, it's persona ride city, right? This is how it is. Okay, so overall, this build is pretty much just consistent. Everyone's building the same way, so pretty cool to see, but we'll see how that evolves in the future. Moving on to block B though of Nagoya, as you can see, the Shiranui has definitely dropped to only 7, still a lot, but yep, more resurgence of Varga, 6 Varga, and then, you know, the rest is just kind of similar. It's just a bit of everything again. Once again, a lot of diversity going on. And then the winner slots was actually Benny, Shiranui, and Ava. Okay, and then second place was, got a Jet as well. A Jet, a Shiranui, and Ava. Third place, pretty crazy. Dimension Police, Shiranui, and then Prison, right? Prison. And then the last spot there was Dimension Police, Mygo, and Varga. So again, quite a lot of weird stuff happening. I do, again, want to stress, it is the first one of a new season, of a new meta. So obviously a lot of people will be trying stuff, but let's kind of look at the top 16, right? So right off the bat, an undefeated team here has this Stourja. I can't say the name. I still can't say it. It's the scripture dude. Okay, but they came first with this and Rasael and a Chrono Jet, right? A Chrono Jet. So pretty strange lineup in terms of 4 decks. Second one was much more straightforward. You have the Luard Shiranui, and then boom, new Shoujo Doji third deck taken home. Third place, this is all Swiss, right? These are the undefeated decks, or the top 4 for Swiss. Morphonica, Unica, we've seen a few Unicas pop up, and Wellstra, and then fourth here, you know, we got the Shoujo Doji, Ava, and the other scripture deck. So pretty cool. I like the scripture deck. I really want to build it. And then let's kind of see, where does diversity start? I think maybe diversity starts around maybe 8th. We haven't seen Varga at all, right? So no Vargas. Yeah, so I think around 8th place again is where we start seeing the X1s. The rest of it, just we got like Benny's, still Benny's, you know, Meta Team, Blingdemir, all crazy. And then yeah, here's like Varga, Drejuled, and Archite to kind of start popping off. Deep Orphis, Heroes, Archite, Flamedge. Again, another Mythia. I told you it wasn't just one Mythia this week, but we had multiple. And then another just Shamo, right? Prisons. Yeah. A lot of Shiranui still. A lot of Shiranui. I'll be very excited to see what happens next week, if they're going to actually hit Shiranui again. Then after that, let's look at some of the decks. So, again, this is the Benny deck, but this time it is just a straight-up V-Spro build. I mentioned how the V-Spro deck works, where you can just run a bunch of the grade 2s with their corresponding grade 1s, and then you have a deck, you just call it board and bash, and then you have Benny this time, so you get to, you know, minus power and have removal, a bit of everything, drive check. I didn't mention the order though, so this order is actually just a grade 1. You just look at the top 5 cards of your deck for a V-Spro, add it to your hand, and call it a day. So everything in this deck should be V-Spro. You can grab anything. You can grab a PG, for example. This is V-Spro. So very strong card. It is free, and it just allows you to use an order every turn to kind of make it, I guess, make your deck slightly more consistent, right? Grab Persona Rides, grab cards that call other cards. Pretty cool. Yep. The next is just the Varga. So this is one, I normally don't go into Varga, but this Varga was really weird. This is a full Vajra Varga. And then also running a bunch of non-standard stuff, I guess. So 3 Shura, pretty cool. Like, not 4 Shura. It's like, I don't mind. But wait. If you're running this, where is like the Boulder Axe Dragon? No Boulder Axe Dragon. No Boulder Axe Dragon. Yeah. You have the Dual Nation guy that soul charges 1, becomes 15k. You can kind of bash with that. You can also retire or call things as well. So you can call Shenris and things like that. Wow, yeah. So pretty insane build, right? Pretty insane build. You have the Raptor that gains a bunch of power, and then you have this grade 1. This grade 1 calls out orders orders. It's the set 2 mill the order, and you can use the order from the drop zone, and it goes to the bottom of the deck kind of thing. What you're getting is just whoa, what is this? It's the Cody Blaze one, but the Cody Blaze order is actually pretty generic. You just took a top 7 and activate one of the following effects, and this can kind of build you soul. It can let you call stuff if you have something in the soul that is the same name, or you can even just get persona rides, which is pretty important when you're playing Vaga, right? You want to be persona riding every turn. Yeah, so this is with a Vajra. I'm guessing just this build just goes so much more aggressive than the old. Just drop it and go ham. Pretty interesting to see, right? Something that's just not traditional Vaga build. With your Boulder Axe, Slide Line, and this is, you know, the cycle and combos like that. So yeah, pretty cool, pretty cool. This one is a more traditional one though, running the Boulder Axe. This one running the Stegosaurus PR, which is pretty interesting. It just lets you Energy Blast 3 and draw 1 when it gets retired, and also be able to get some power. So you kind of push more damage early. And then you also have this interesting tech where you run this card from set 2, Enmo. It's a pretty cool tech, I have to say. So when it comes to play, an Energy Blast 3, and for every of your opponent's set orders that they have, you can retire 1. So it works really well against the decks that run the new set orders from the Festival Collection, the hostage set orders from Festival Collection, that allows you to, you know, guard from the board and move them into the guarding circle and bind them. Because you can play multiple of them and they can proc like once per turn, but if they have multiple set orders, and a lot of decks as well do run set orders nowadays, Vaga doesn't really touch the back row, so normally they'd feel safe, but now you pop this guy down, you don't really use that much energy anyway, and bam, you get to wipe a bunch of stuff. It's really devastating. Like, Vaga's first skill is already devastating when you wipe the front row and make big turns, making your opponent guard all the cards. But then when you're wiping the back row as well, it's pretty devastating. So I do like this tech. I actually do like this tech. It's pretty cool, right? You're playing the meta, and the meta right now has a lot of cards, well, a lot of set orders that you'll just be able to profit with this. So pretty nice. The one reason why I picked this build is it's because it's running the Brandgate Blitz order that I think is just so good to run in Brandgate decks. Soul Blast 1, and then you get 10k for each of your rested set orders. This deck is resting this stuff. Okay, you're resting. You're getting so much power, so much defensive power from this one set order to counter any kind of guard restrict. Sure, you miss out on the Sanctitude full guard restrict, but if you're playing against things like Blademir, pretty sad. You won't get to use it anyway. And then this 40k shield, it's just really good. 40k shield, really good. So then you just run 4 more of just run 4 normal like PGs. So I like this combo. The rest of the deck is pretty similar to the other stuff we've seen so far. So nice. Now I think this is Stoherja. I'm trying to say it again. Say it correctly again. The Stoiraja. It's a scripture deck. Pretty simple to build once again. I guess the interesting thing here is it's running the Price Trident to get a counter charge and a soul off. So that's pretty nice. I guess you could run Inlet Pulse as well and put Inlet Pulse in every deck. Yeah. But yeah, only a 3/3 scripture build though. 3/3, is that enough? I don't know. The rest of the deck runs base. It doesn't even run a full set of the I guess the support, I guess. But you know, this card doesn't really require names, right? So you're running 4 of the Scripture Search, 4x of the Scripture Salvage, and then 2x of kind of like the defensive power. And then you can stick in a bunch of generics. So here is your 3 Dual Nation generic, and then 4 Energy Cyclers, and then one defensive. Being able to stick in a one like Carbuncle here is always pretty nice. And yeah, and as we talked before, the Price Trident. So okay, not bad. I like it. Next we have is another one as well. So here is actually going way crazier. What is this card? Whoa, what is DZ-BT03? Okay. So it looks like this just gets a bunch of power, right? A bunch of power. Also running this DZ-BT04 card. So this can counter charge as long as you've like Alchemagicked or done 5 attacks this turn. So try 2 of this. So it's like Price Trident, right? Trying to find ways to increase soul and counter charge. So I actually like these techs. Trident or whatever this thing is. I forgot the name. It's a weird dragon. It's a zombie dragon. So pretty cool that, again, just this power gainer. I don't know if this is fully required. They're not running the beetle grade. Actually not running a lot of the... Yeah, I think if we're not running the grade 2, I guess this guy's like not confirmed. It's like a top 7 check, right? So maybe you hate that card and you don't run it. You run the auto salvager. You run this grade 1 that lets you, like, this looks at the top 7 as well, but it's free, right? It's free, so you don't feel bad when you miss. It also goes to soul. And then you just run a bunch of the other stuff too. So again, the Dual Nation, Energy Cycler, and yeah, just 2 and 3 though. Really, is that enough? I guess you do get to search for like a scripture, or yeah, I guess you do, right? Solas, yeah. So you get to search. You can search for the one you're missing. You hard mulligan for it. I guess. So, okay. It's good to see it pop up again. I like this deck. Next is another Shoujo Doji. So this one is pretty similar to the other one, I guess. Right? Running 3x of these. 3x of these. So cutting the slot there. Otherwise, pretty similar. Right? Pretty nice. And the other one here. So this one is running Shenris. Sticking in Shenris. Also running the tech. The set order anti-set order tech. So that's pretty cool to see. But then just kind of not running the... Is it the Kagetsuchi? So fully not running the Kagechika, my bad. So yeah, able to stick in some extra slots. Alright, and a ladder. Okay, and then the last deck we're gonna look at is another one of these Mythia. So again, like I said before, this one is less high rarity though. Stick in the PR, stick in some. This guy's running 4x of the clam goat support. Also running 4x of the thing, right? The thing. Yeah, so just a lot of... He's not running the giraffe turtle though. But just a lot of the new support and the PR is definitely at least helping this deck. Finally helping this deck. Only 3 Mythia Capitats as well. So pretty cool. Nice to see this format. This format's developing quite weirdly. I think in the future we're not going to see that many crazy decks, right? We're going to see a much more refined amount of deck. Obviously, everyone's trying out new stuff. There's a lot of things that people don't know. The knowledge isn't there to counter all the decks yet. So once people start practicing, they'll figure out which decks are better. And unfortunately or fortunately, we'll have a much more refined metagame as we progress through in set 3. Now, moving on to BSF, there was quite a few BSFs that we do need to cover as well as some other events too. So first off, we have Germany. So BSF Germany, we have the No Horny Bonk squad coming in first. We're going to see... This is the English meta, okay? You might already see some common ground here. Shiranui and Luwad, right? Do we need to say much? It's just so good. Every single one of these teams brought them, but they brought unique third decks. So we have one here is Youthberg. All you got to do is get your combo going and you win. Other one is Morphonica, trying to maybe counter some of the Shiranuis a bit. Raziel, also a nice mini Luwad pick. And then Brexit Doge with Welstra. I actually expect more Welstra, but it looks... I don't know. I feel like I don't see Welstra as much in English, but congrats to everyone here. Italian Knights. I swear I see these names quite often. Eights Gaming. No, yeah, I've seen quite a few of these names. Okay, I swear they've been making their tours around Europe, at least yearly, right? And then the tri format next gen. I do expect a lot of these to be good, but hey, look at the V slot. We got Italian Knights again, 3rd place. With Messiah, Chaos Messiah, and is Orange really low tier warriors? They have some interesting stuff though. So Jet in premium, they took a. In Tri-Reg, I don't blame people for not taking Shiranui or Luwad in their mid slot, the D slot, because I can guarantee you how boring it's gonna be if you play Shiranui Mirror all game, Shiranui versus Luwad Mirror. Those are all terribly annoying matchups. Then there's gonna be people who play Varga, and then Varga mirrors are terrible as well. I know that personally, so I don't blame anyone who takes none of those. They bring a Shamo and go, I have a decent matchup against other stuff, and I can just high roll everyone else. So yeah, I don't. It's honestly okay. Caesar Camino, Camions with a Varga, Italian Knights again, low tier warriors. So we'll take a look at some of these premium ones. Those are the main ones that's probably the most interesting, I think. First is the Chrono Jet. So this one is a full time leap kind of focus build with crest. So just go. Is it melon? Oh, maybe it's not. There's no melons. No, there is. My bad. I can't see. My mom. It's too hot. Indonesia was too hot. Okay. And then you get TikTok. So pretty cool. Bring back the running the order as well. So it's a Chronojet time leap in the new era with Crest that makes everything powerful. And then next we have is the Gurgit. So this is just like old school G Gurgit, I think, right? And then you just do the ultimate play. So no over trigger here. Got a ladder as well. But yeah, Percival, speed it up. Get your Providential Angel as well, so they can't Sentinel and just go into your ultimate and just kind of win out games like that. It's age-old combo that still works, and they came forth. So congrats. Next we have is the Indonesia tournament as well. So let's start off with standard. As you can see, there is one team that did very well, and it wasn't me, right? It wasn't me. Our team scrubbed out. What excuses can we make? It was really hot. I think the tournament was run really well. It went really quickly. It was just really hot. So if they find a good venue with better air conditioning, bam, this tournament would have been really insane. I did hear some horror stories from the previous years where the tournament just went on forever, but this year it ran pretty fast. So I have to give props there. I just hit something here, but yeah, big props there. Derek's team did well. You might have just heard on his Twitter already. They came second in both tri-format and standard. So unable to... They were close. But, another friend also in confirmed win, which unfortunately didn't. But Jonathan, big player, right? Big player in Vanguard. I think he's been a world many times. Also coming third. The big grats there. The first place, Venus. I don't know. If I say something weird, Venus Springfest, it stands for BSF. Okay, they came first with their team of Shunui and Luad with Leonorn as their third deck. So pretty cool. Weirab, Galini, and Derek brought a pretty meta team, just like that. The Shura Luad Nui, the Mygo. Confirmed win! Alright, Jonathan's team took something really, really different. So Luad, of course, Luad, good deck. Taking a Prism as well, but then, is that a Magnolia Elder? Right? Pretty crazy. And then a Bayou Esports. So they took the Shunui Luad and then the Varga matchup. So pretty nice. And then in the Tri-Reg, we have Dia coming in first. They brought Gurgit and then Luad and D, and then Narukami, right? Narukami. This is actually pretty insane when you look at these top fours for Indonesia. 2 Narukamis. Not really totally expected. But yeah, they brought this one was sweep. Then WCC team, so Derek's team again, with Weirab and Galini. Galini on the Grand Blue. Derek playing Mygo instead. And then Weirab playing the Katrina. Right, Katrina pretty crazy. Then Venus Springfest coming third. So like first and third, pretty crazy result, I have to say. They brought Gurgit, a Shunui, and D, and then boom, Davis, right? And then the Antos, they came with Gurgit, Shunui, and Eradicators. Well, I think this is a vowing reverse, right? So yeah, pretty crazy. And yes, it does say Weirab so handsome. Up to you decide. Here's some of the decks. So this was the Elder deck. Definitely some interesting techs here. One Inlapult, the best card ever, right? But also running this weird chef. This is a chef, right? Strange food preparation. Look at this guy. He's got some strange food. But you can grab a Blitz order from your drop and add it to your hand. That's pretty cool. So I guess you can just grab one of these Lascaria Blitz orders, and it's all fine and dandy. And then yeah, I mean Elder going to this one are they not even running a ladder? No ladder. Okay. But pretty interesting to just see. Like I would have thought this would have been masks, but it's actually not. It's actually Elder, so pretty cool, right? And then next is just the winning deck. They brought Sweep Command. Even after getting, I'm surprised. Indonesia took two like Narukami decks into the main top four, which is not something you normally see, right? I don't know, like Narukami definitely dropped off quite a bit in the West, but here in Indonesia, it's going fine. So big congrats. See, no demos. Adding some strength text though, right? So extra is the top 10. Call a Sweep Command and ride it. So yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Interesting random text. And then onto the Korea. So Korea, this one was in D. This is playing JP format. So they came Shunui. Boom. First, second, Shunui. Third place, Juki with Razel, and the fourth was a Prison. Wow. All right. And if we look at some of the lists here, we have, you know, first place, the Shiranui build with Esmeralda and the barbecue order. This is pretty much, I think, a pretty standard build of Shiranui now with the new Dual Nation. I do think defending Raw, I've slowly been rating this card higher and higher. Just running one in the deck feels like it adds so much value. So if you run fronts and you put in one defending Raw, I think you're it's just really good. I just think it's really good. So that's my personal bias. But we'll see. Next is the here we go. The second Shiranui deck, pretty similar, right? Just no defending Raw though, so that's why it didn't win. Hey. But yeah, it's still got the Dual Nation. No Esmeraldas, though. No Esmeraldas. So actually pretty different. Okay. Third place was the Rezael. Oh, not Rezael. Well, this is... I guess Rezael didn't post his list. But fourth place was the Prison. So I guess this Prison is pretty straightforward. We've seen pretty standard build, but now you get to run the Sanctuary. New Sanctuary. So cool. And then we have last week's tournament. We have Rosemont. So this should be in Chicago, right? Yeah, I have to shout out this tournament because my pal Kevin Cho came second. Goofy Goobers, right? I was playing Shiranui, so congrats there. But we have a pretty crazy lineups in both standard and tri. We'll see pretty soon. Lots of Shiranui and Luado, right? Cards for tomorrow taking first place with a Prism. Goofy Goobers taking as well with a Youth. Armada didn't though. They took Varga and Dradual. So actually, if you just honestly, Luad can be pretty hard to play, so if you're not confident playing it, you're fine taking one of the, like, Varga, Mygo, Welsh. I think they're all fine picks as, like, a second deck, so I think that's fine, and then you can take a Dradual because, hey, you might just like the deck, right? It's not terrible. I think it's fine. It's good enough. It can still win games. And then in fourth place, yeah, we just have a Shiranui, Luad, Varga. Very strong. But then in Tri-Reg, we have Cardstorm going second, so they had a great weekend, right? But first place was Fenrir's Fan Club. They came fourth into that is correct, right? Red fourth, Fenrir's Fan. Yeah, we can see this because they had Fenrir, right? They were up to play Fenrir. They came first. So V and Fenrir, and then Shiranui in Crestnui for premium, and then Varga for standard. Cardstorm maybe trying to play the Shiranui metagame with the Prism in their D slot, but have the Highlander in the premium slot, and then Gurgit and Naru. The V slots for these were all pretty like meta, except for this one's just trying to counter the meta. All right, and then we have the Gridora here for KC V need ban list. Probably V's getting banned, maybe. Running a Shiranui in the D slot as well, and Sigma Striker V, wow, with Katrina, and then in the D slot they have the Lord. So every single D slot is very different here, very different. No one wants to play Shiranui mirrors or the Wad mirrors. They're all trying something else. So nice. And then I guess we can look at the Gridora list. So it's not really a Gridora list, is it? Well, it is a Gridora. All Mega Calling lists are Gridora, but this one's just running Dark Face focused one, large of as well. And yeah, pretty nice, pretty cool to see Mega Collie do well. Just to, I guess it's literally there to counter like Grand Blues, right? Because this, like, I think this against Grand Blue, and I guess Katrina as well. This against Katrina should be pretty favorable because they can't call the tokens. I know Katrina should have other, like, ways around it, but yeah, this should be at least a nice pick of, like, 2 good matchups and, like, some weaker matchups. But that's just how Mega Colony always is. That's just how Gridora always is, right? So pretty cool. And then lastly, we do have the Taiyuan in China from the Busho China League. They had a lot of Shiranuis, 2 Avas, yeah, and then blaming me painting tools. And in their first place, that actually Kairi come first, and then second was Ava, Shiranui, and then Blaming. So all right, pretty nice. And then the top 4, right, Kairi. I think we've seen a lot of these Kairi builds popping up. They've shown some results, but nothing as, I guess, significant as this one. And I guess it's because he's running 3 heals. Is that the way? Is that the way forward? 3 heals, 3 draws, 6 crits, and the 3 fronts. It's pretty interesting. It does have some interesting new cards though. So the old build was running just Kairis with your dragons, and I guess now you have the cyclers and ways to jump, so the jump engine. But now you have this new order. So I guess maybe it's playing through, but I do think this deck definitely is way more how do you say it? Refined, right? Just looking at the trigger lineup, running 3 heals like this is definitely is definitely unique, I feel like. So pretty crazy. Then they had the Ava, which is much more standard as well. This is the, yeah, with the hybrid. This is what everyone is doing. So good stuff. And this one is Shiranui. Fancy Shiranui layout, right? But again, we see the dual nations, so pretty standard, I guess. And then the fourth was just another Blangdemir. So Blangdemir is sorting the dual nation stuff too. So this might be some new tech. I know a lot of people running the Falcratias, but dual nation Blangdemir with no Falcratia. So okay, pretty nice. That is all the lists we have this week, right? All the lists. Let me know what you guys all think. Again, if you have some really nice lists you want to point out, post them in the comments, right? Let everyone, notify everyone to see what's going on. And yeah, if you want to post your list with some more discussion, I think it'll only be me and Top Decks this week. But post them, we'll see it. Kelvin will still see the lists, but it'll only be me looking through them, which might mean we have a really long Top Decks or a really short one. So that's it. I'll see you all next time. All right, bye.